Rightio, now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for joining us. If you're watching this now or if you're watching this later, we're having a great night. We've just finished the Hedonist. Actually, can you ask Cody to turn that stuff down? We've just the politics down. Yes, welcome to Trump's America. Now, we've just finished a Hedonist wine tasting, and we have absolutely adored the wines. We were given a special bottle to try, and that is Hedonist Reserve Shiraz.
Has it been opened already?
Opened it just a second ago. Just under
Looks a bit low tide.
She's got some.
Ah, I see. There we go.
So,
I thought Michael might have taken a nip out.
no, sadly not. So this has been provided to us by Michael Angelides of Australian Independent Wine Wholesalers. This is the Hedonist Reserve Shiraz. I think it's 2017. Pat, my eyes are not good enough for this light. 2017. So this retails for about $70, I think, approximately $70.
It's worth more than me.
Yes. I wasn't going to say anything, but yes. From the tasting we've just done, his Shiraz was actually the winner for the night. Now, we love the Shiraz because it had lots of blue fruits, it was complex, it had a really velvety flavor, a velvety palate to it, and the oak was not overwhelming, but it was there and integrated perfectly. And that was for a 2018 Shiraz. So we're now looking at his Reserve Shiraz for 2017. And just on the nose, the intensity is so much greater.
Is that newer oak?
Yeah, it is newer oak. He uses better oak for his reserves generally. Like most winemakers do, they use the better oaks for that. But it's also, the intensity of the fruit is what's shining through on this one. So you do have oak, you've got those cedar notes, you've got some vanillins to it. I won't say there's coconut or butterscotch to it because I don't believe there is. There might be some American oak in there, possibly, but I'm not getting those really overt American notes. However, just the intensity of the notes, like I'm getting black fruit, black spice and blue fruit and even some red fruit sitting in the background there. Like the complexity is just amazing. It's just, you're getting so many different flavours coming into your nose, and every time you smell it, you're getting something new every time. Remember, this is just crack and poured. This hasn't even been decanted. So, reserve wine generally evolves in the glass over a period of time. So, if we were being, if we had the time, we would really just sit here on a glass and drink it over the next 30 minutes to see how it evolves.
But we're so busy.
Unfortunately, we're so busy drinking and having a good time that it won't get anywhere near 30 minutes. So, but I mean, just the nose on that. So, Pat, what are you getting from it, from your palate?
I get like I get a lot of red fruits actually, like raspberries and like bright red plum, like yeah. I get a few blue fruits, but yeah. It's a bit, I guess, sweeter, I guess, than the previous one. Like
more fruit driven than the previous one.
Yeah.
Because there is no residual sugar in this.
Yeah.
This is made fermented fully dry. This is a hard statement to sort of to get across because obviously, as we were talking about earlier, with the sugar culture, we do relate sugar and flavour together quite a lot. So saying it's sweeter just means literally it's got those more fruit-driven notes. Dan, what are you seeing on this?
My nose is shocking after I've already smelt the rest of these. It seems to start closing up on me.
Stop
I don't
smoking.
get it. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But what I do notice in the colour, it's moved away from the purple
it's like
to a much
bright
more
red.
red.
Yeah, much more ruby sort of style. And this is what happens. So, as I said, when it's young and bright, it's going to be very, very purple. And that colour evolves over time to go to a ruby colour. And then going from a ruby colour, it stays ruby for a very long time. And we'll begin to get just on the meniscus, start getting into those sort of bricky colours and then eventually to a brown colour. At that point, you're probably looking at a wine that's gone past it. But at the moment, it is just shining, just literally shining in the glass. Yeah. Now, 2017 wasn't a classically great year for McLaren Vale. Like, it was a good year. Good fruit cropping. I believe, God, I'm probably going to get this wrong, so I do apologise to anyone who is a real wine nerd on this. But I do believe it was a drier year.
There's a bigger one than you?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Okay.
oh mate.
Sorry.
I love them though, they're fantastic. Sitting down and talking vintages with people. Like, and you realise it's actually their life. These people that do this, that we call wine nerds, it's actually their life that they do this. So it was a dry year. I believe the yields were pretty good, but I believe that it didn't have an incredible heat wave come through. It wasn't a cool year by any stretch of the imagination. They didn't get rain at the bad time, but it wasn't one of your classic McLaren Vale years like 2012 or 2010. What was the other year that was really good? 2016 was also quite a good year, I believe. Yeah, so, but the classic years are ones that produce a lot of fruit character, and then actually just make a plethora of really, really good wine that's so eminently drinkable. So 2017 was probably a little bit leaner on that side.
You wouldn't know it drinking that.
No, because the intensity is just there.
Doesn't have as much upfront fruit as the standard Shiraz, so it's mellowed in and blended in better.
And it's getting some tertiary notes coming in at this stage of the game too.
When I first tried it, I went for a 3-year-old wine that's got beautiful tertiary character.
It's like a little bit. Actually, it could just be me, but a little bit of tobacco.
Yep, no, it's got tobacco and it's got leather smoke.
Yeah, that's off.
No, I actually go with that. There's a little bit of tobacco in there as well. I do think that the wine itself is going to evolve really, really beautifully for the next few years as well. But that is so eminently drinkable now.
Really gentle tannins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Light crispiness.
Yeah. And it's
Man,
got
on the front of your tongue. Like, I don't find it too much on the back palate.
No, it's more of the front to mid.
Yeah, and I do find that velvet in there again too.
It's still
really
smooth.
good.
Still
Yeah.
very smooth. What do you think, Ross?
So tell us what you like there, Ross.
I think it's absolutely delicious. I'm actually getting olive tapenade.
Yep.
Back.
What's the olive
really
tapenade?
really nice tertiary character for a 3-year-old wine, but it's really vibrant.
Oh, no,
So
that
it's got the
olive.
vibrancy of the beautiful McLaren Vale fruit,
That's
but
tapenade, is
it's
it? That's
already
olive.
getting that beautiful tertiary character. It's a spectacular.
Don't like olive? Don't do olive?
What if we put some chili sauce on it? So that's what's that?
Really, you don't like olive?
No.
Really?
It looks like a dog that you just shoved a tablet down his throat.
Tablet.
So what about olive you don't like?
Oh, it's just like a salty little. Hate it. Yeah, I've tried them before.
We're all looking at it now. Okay, so the saltiness you're getting,
Yeah.
past that saltiness is actually the olive tapenade flavours that we're talking about.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
That's it. I know it's painful. I'm sorry, but I did gooseberry, so you have to do that.
Took one for the team.
Took one for the team. There you go. So your pad is now no longer an olive version.
I've had olives before, but
Not a virgin olive.
yeah. Usually I just swallow them whole like a duck.
So
But no,
what would the flour be?
nasturtium.
Yeah, okay, but what flavour, what would you call this? I don't normally eat flowers.
I have to admit I don't eat flowers generally either, but I'm going to try it, and if it poisons me else.
Well, it's bitter. No, this is good.
It is pretty good. That's pretty good. So,
Definitely floral.
yeah. So I'm
That
going to
flower.
ask a question now. Now, this is actually probably the most pertinent question. Do you see a, let's say 3 times, difference between the estate range and the reserve range?
Yeah.
You do? Yep.
Yeah.
And?
I don't. Not when it comes to price wise.
Yep.
But if that ages and can last, what, 15 years or something, then you'd be paying for it.
Yeah.
You'd be quite happy to pay 3 times for that.
See, to me that's a totally different wine.
The only reason I would say no will be because the standard range is so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The standard range is so
It
good
punches
value.
so far above its weight price wise for quality,
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
that it pushes the bar up even higher. So that's
That being said, though, look, for me, yeah, I do think it's worth 3 times the money, and I do think the reason is because the production level is a lot less than that one. The work that's put in that one is a lot more, but I honestly believe it'll age better. It will age a lot better, but also I really feel I would happily put that wine up against, well, at least 1,
All lost.
2, 3, 4, 5 wines that sit between $150 and $200. And without doubt, I have drunk them, those ones I've pointed at, and they're all excellent wines, but I would have this one so much more.
Why has, like you say, so much more expense has gone into the reserve? Essentially, the whole wine making is the same, but maybe the barrels would be more expensive, maybe,
and time.
holding on to them. Yeah.
Well, they put time in there as well.
If you want to be...
It's that herby note.
Go the herbal note. If you want to be dead set honest about it, probably the truest answer that I can give you, the most concise and real answer I can give you without being too flowery, is essentially when it comes to making wine, you've got your 2-ton parcels, you've fermented them, you put them into barrel. You look at those barrels across the range. Some barrels will be stunning, will be absolutely next level, just from the fruit flavour.
Yeah.
Just from what they do. Maybe even the tannin note that they've got to it. And after a while you realise that if you pick this particular block at this particular time, it gives the best fruit. So you allow it to either hang longer, or you spend a bit more time just making sure viticulturally that block is going to be pristine. And as we said with Walter's wines, all of them, because he follows the biodynamic principle, they are going to be all fairly much looked after essentially the same way. He probably does put a little bit more effort into the blocks that produce his reserve. Maybe he might not even do that. He might even just select from barrels. He might just do the barrel samples and go...
Did you put 2 cow horns at the end of each?
2 cow horns rather than 1. Yeah, that could be that.
Double it up.
Oh, that might be a bit hard because they get upset and they struggle a lot when you put them underground. I don't know why I should know that. Anyway, but you really do. So it might even be a barrel selection. And when it comes to it, as I said, Walter, despite being a very creative and very intelligent guy, he's also a businessman. So what you do is you try to generate, it's a business, wine is a business.
Yeah.
So your reserve Shiraz, your best of best that's come out of your vineyards that you show as being what you are about, and this is the best that I can do, he has gone, that is worth 3 times that. He might have and I'm not sure, I'm not au fait with that, I don't know, he's never talked to me about it.
We do pay, they have to pay taxes and stuff on stuff while it's in barrel too, don't they?
No, not until it's sold.
Oh, okay, so they can let it age as long as they want, it's not going to cost them anything except storage and
the
unavailability of those barrels that it's sitting in.
Exactly, so what he might have done is he might have just found these are all his A triple plus or A double plus barrels, and he's gone, that is good, and he's blended up this wine and gone fantastic, and then put the rest of the wine back into that. Okay, declassified those reserves and such. Whilst the same price is used to make that as it is to make that, he's worked out on a business model to obviously try and make money, because I mean it's a business, you need to make money, otherwise there's no point doing this. You've got to have turnover. You've got to have turnover. So he knows that his turnover is this one. He makes this so everybody buys it, and buys it super, super regularly. I mean, for us, this is one of our go-to Shirazes. This one is one that we probably do need to sort of suggest to people a lot more.
Yeah, now that I know what it tastes like if people want to pay like north of $50, like.
Yep. That is
quite often do.
If you're after like a nice bottle of red, even if they're coming in there looking for something for 40, I'm like, oh man, like,
try that one.
Yeah, it's worth the extra $30.
So this one, he probably, it might have cost him the same to make as that one, but because he's selected those and put them into his reserve range, he's put his name and his reserve character behind that. That's the wine that he's thinking that I should get the most money for. It might be as simple as that, or it might be that he's chosen those blocks and he's used the best oak, the longest aging potential for it, and created the wine. So I don't know, but they're the two reasons why you do it. And if you're not using business as a reason to actually produce a reserve range, you're kidding yourself.
Well, they don't do it for fun.
No, they really don't. I have actually seen a guy who literally makes a great wine, and he makes one great wine, and he just puts it out all the time, and he puts every level of, the best grapes, the worst grapes, and just puts it all together into a blend and sells it. And he sells it for an inexpensive price. And it's good, it stands up really well. Everyone enjoys it, but it just is just across the board he's selling it for $15 a bottle.
Where he could sell
he could split it
half
up.
of it for like $60 a bottle and then half of it for $10 a bottle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And these business models are really important to know. And as a wine consumer, it's really important to understand that these guys aren't making this for funs and giggles. They're making this to they can be fed. I'm not exactly sure where that cut out, but I'm not. Oh yeah.
It's a business.
Yeah, Walter has a magnificent home. I will say. Oh my God, it is just really awesome. We're just sitting there overlooking the entire vale, and you can almost see out to the coast. You're just going, oh, that is just stunning. Him and Kevin from Kangaroo Road, both of those are good. Both of them have exactly the same idea for their house, and the overlooking. It's just a good place. I mean, when we were there,
that's nice.
Yeah, and just the fact, and honestly, at the end of the day, the main reason I sell Hedonist wines is the dude's so cool.
Yeah.
He is just such a lovely guy. His wine, put it this way, his wine makes the cut well and truly, but the dude himself is just fantastic. And James and Kel are just really lovely people, and I think James probably needs to come out of his shell a bit more. He's a very quiet boy.
Was he the young one?
Yeah, he was the young one that was there.
When we got there.
What
I did love is when we got there, it's like, want a beer?
Yeah, that was good. So yeah, in essence, what I'm saying is, Hedonist Reserve Shiraz. Yeah, it's worth the money. I reckon it's well and truly worth the money. In fact, it's worth more. But don't tell Walter that, because then he'll actually try and put the price up, which is really bad.
Michael will put it up.
Michael will put it up, and then I'll cry, and then there'll be tears and wailing. But I have to say, great wine. Have it with good company and good food, and everything will be sweet. I think we better pour some more though.
Yeah, I think
it's important to actually understand. The glass just comes out of left field there, doesn't it?
What are you going to have? You're going to have to go back to the normal one.
Says who?
Oh.
It's because it's your birthday next week.
Yeah, it's because it's Roz's birthday next week, and everyone should text her and tell her how much they love her. Anyway. Yeah, I know.
That was actually got a bit more brown, like I don't know, it's just got a very like brown.
Yeah.
Coffee notes.
Yeah, like a bit more. Oh, I think earthy's right. Like dirt.
I'm getting more coffee notes on that one. And this is it. The wine will evolve, and the wine evolves fairly quickly. In fact, we should really just drink this over the next hour.
Yeah. So
I think that's a great idea.
Switch back to the other ones, then switch back to
the one. Yeah, I think it's good. Anyway, cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Thank you. See you soon, Walter.